Have you ever walked through a forest at dusk, when the shadows grow long, the air turns still, and you get that prickling sense you're not alone? You can't see it, but somewhere between the trees, a pair of golden eyes might be watching you. Silently, patiently, the eyes of a bobcat. Elusive, mysterious, and fiercely independent, the bobcat is a master of living in the spaces between wilderness and suburbia, between predator and ghost. But their story didn't start here. To understand the bobcat, we have to go back, way back. Picture the Earth around 2 million years ago. The Ice Age is rolling in, and massive cats prowl the land. Saber-toothed cats, giant cheetahs, and lynxes that are ancestors to today's smaller wildcats. Somewhere in the mix, a species called Lynx isiodorensis roams across Eurasia and North America. Over thousands of years, they adapt, shrink in size for efficiency, develop tufted ears, short tails, and that distinctive spotted coat. They become specialists, able to thrive in forests, deserts, and even swamps. One branch of this evolutionary family tree gives rise to Lynx rufus, the bobcat, a predator just big enough to take down deer fawns but nimble enough to vanish into a patch of tall grass without a sound. Their appearance is like something drawn by nature, its own artist, the pale fur overlaid with warm brown and black spots, the black ear tufts that act like little signal flags, the short black-tipped tail that gave them their name. They are built for stealth. Powerful legs for pouncing, razor-sharp claws, and senses so keen they can hear a mouse rustling under snow from 50 feet away. They are, quite simply, the ultimate ambush predator of the North American wild. For thousands of years, bobcats thrived alongside indigenous peoples, who respected them as symbols of patience, strategy, and sometimes mystery. In certain Native American legends, the bobcat is a teacher, showing hunters how to move silently or warning of imbalance in nature. But as European settlers arrived, the relationship changed. Bobcats became varmints, pests to be eliminated in the name of livestock protection. They were trapped for their fur, hunted for sport, and in some states, nearly wiped out. In the 1800s and early 1900s, bounty programs paid people to kill them. Yet, like the tricksters of the old stories, bobcats adapted. They learned to navigate human-altered landscapes, slipping between farms and suburbs under cover of night. Even in captivity, they never lose that wild spark. Zoos and wildlife centers sometimes keep bobcats, but they are not domestic by any stretch of the imagination. People have tried, of course. There are always those who think they can tame a wild cat. But a bobcat is no house cat. They may look playful or cuddly, but under that soft fur is a predator's mind, cautious, calculating, and deeply tied to the rhythms of the natural world. Today, bobcats are found in every U.S. state except Hawaii, and their range stretches into Mexico and southern Canada. They are a rare success story in wildlife, still relatively common despite centuries of hunting. But don't let that fool you. Their survival is not guaranteed. Habitat loss is their greatest threat. As cities sprawl and roads carve through forests, the bobcat's world shrinks. Highways become deadly barriers, not just because of car collisions, but because they fragment territories, cutting off access to prey, mates, and shelter. In some regions, diseases like feline distemper and mange are spreading, sometimes linked to domestic pets who share overlapping ranges. In others, climate change is altering prey populations. For instance, in the Southwest, extended droughts mean fewer rabbits and rodents, forcing bobcats to hunt in riskier areas closer to human settlements. This increases conflict. Chickens disappear from backyards, and in retaliation, people set traps or call in animal control. In the Northeast, harsher winters and unpredictable snow patterns disrupt hunting strategies honed over millennia. Statistically, bobcats are still considered of least concern by conservation groups, but that's a blanket label that hides local crises. In some pockets of the Midwest, populations are struggling due to overhunting combined with habitat loss. And while fur trapping has declined compared to its heyday, it hasn't vanished. In 2020 alone, thousands of bobcat pelts were still being exported overseas, especially to markets where spotted fur is a fashion luxury. It's strange, isn't it? That we can admire an animal for its beauty, and yet that beauty can also put a target on its back. This duality says a lot about humanity's relationship with wildlife. We romanticize the wild, but we also fear it. We want to protect it, but we also want to control it. And when an animal like the bobcat manages to survive in spite of us, we often can't decide whether to cheer or to challenge it. But here's where I'll throw in a bit of humor. Because the bobcat, in its own way, has been winning little victories all along. There are documented cases of bobcats strolling across golf courses in broad daylight, sleeping in abandoned barns just 100 feet from busy roads, and even stealing fish from backyard ponds without the owners ever knowing until they check the security footage. You can't help but respect that kind of cleverness. And yet, cleverness alone won't save them from the pressures we're putting on the natural world. This is why wildlife corridors, protected strips of land connecting habitats, are becoming so important. In Florida, for example, conservation groups have been working to link fragmented forests so bobcats, and their larger cousin, the Florida panther, can roam safely. Education plays a role too. When people understand that bobcats help control rodent populations, they're less likely to view them as pests. And sometimes it is simply about tolerance, remembering that sharing the land with wild animals is part of what makes a place truly alive. So the next time you're out in the quiet woods or even walking through your neighborhood at night, imagine the soft pad of paws somewhere nearby, the flick of a short tail in the shadows. The bobcat may be closer than you think, not because they want to be your neighbor, but because your world has moved into theirs. And if we're lucky, they'll continue to walk that fine line between seen and unseen ghost and predator for centuries to come. But luck isn't enough. If you've made it this far in the video, you care about wildlife, and that means you have power. Power to support local conservation groups, to advocate for green spaces in your community, and to spread awareness about the challenges bobcats face. Hit that like button so more people see this story, leave a comment about your own wildlife encounters, and subscribe for more deep dives into the incredible creatures that share our planet. The bobcat's tale is still being written, and with a little help from us, it can be one of survival, resilience, and wild beauty.